I hope you're ready to be pissed off, because if you're not, you may not want to watch this video. Let me show you why.
Thank you, Diane. New at 6, 3 Dodge Chargers have been seized by the city of Flint and are set to be auctioned off in the near future. City officials say this incident happened back in May, and these drivers are accused of causing damage to properties around the city.
Now, mind you, they say damage to properties. They never say just donuts and burnouts and laying rubber on pavement, which is where the rubber's supposed to be. But let's continue watching.
TV5's James Felton joins us live from Flint with what comes next. James?
This is the city's first seizure of cars this summer, and city officials say they're ready to take more if necessary.
We have just seized 3 vehicles, all Dodge Chargers, for $100,000 plus of damage inside of our corporate community and our residential areas.
$100,000 of damage. $100,000 of damage by putting rubber on pavement.
Flint Mayor Sheldon Neely says the vehicles responsible for causing the damage you're seeing on your screen are now property of the city and will be auctioned off to help pay for repairs. Flint Police Detective Sergeant Tyrone Booth tells us this happened on May 18th.
This particular video you're looking at occurred.
Something about these two dudes, they just look like hustlers. I don't know why. It's something about him over here with the tie and shirt combo and the gold cross with the American flag, and he just gives me the hustler vibes. And this guy here with the open shirt, and he's got the chain back there, and he's got the gold badge. Something about these guys just look like crooked cops. I'm not saying they are, they just give me crooked cop vibes, like they're just trying to get money from citizens.
At Ashley Capitol on the north end of Flint, where vehicles met to drag race and in the parking lot. They did a lot of destruction to the property.
Drag
there,
race?
And they were there approximately 45 minutes to an hour.
Booth says once the trio of cars were identified, it didn't take long to bring them in and hold their drivers accountable. Booth tells us criminal charges are pending and will be announced in the near future. Meanwhile, Neely says this is part of Flint's Safe and Clean initiative. It's all in an effort to get reckless drivers and their vehicles off the street.
Ashley Capital,
they are off the street.
$300 million.
They're in the back of a
provide a big tax base for the city, as well as good paying jobs for residents.
None of that shit has anything to do with Dodge Chargers burning out.
And damage the level of investment that we have in this community. Why are they doing it? For fun? There are better ways to have fun than damaging people's property.
Booth tells us if you don't want to have your car end up here, drive with safety in mind.
If you drive in this type of behavior, we're going to take your vehicle.
Fucking hustlers, bro. That shit pisses me off. I'm not gonna lie.
The city says forfeiture proceedings are being carried out in accordance with Michigan law, with full coordination between law enforcement and the city attorney's office. The city of Flint says it remains committed to working alongside law enforcement and residents to identify and deter illegal activities, ensuring a safer, more peaceful.
What kind of cheap ass news station is this? This man's got old ass wired Apple earpods in his ear. I haven't seen wired earpods in like at least 7-8 years.
Peaceful environment for all. Back to you.
Thank you, James. The city of Flint says this enforcement action is part of the city's broader commitment to neighborhood safety, property protection, and restoring order in areas affected by drag racing and vehicular crime.
So you heard it there. You know what I mean? That's the bullshit. That's the bullshit right there. Now I want you guys to see what they were doing, right? Here's about a 2.5-minute clip of what they were doing. So your boy's talking about street racing. At one point he mentioned illegal drag racing, right? So here's another shot of a camera, and this is why, guys, when you go to the back of these lots and shit and you burning out and doing what you do, you gotta be careful, man, because they started doing this shit in Charlotte. We'll talk about it in a minute, but I just want to show you the video. I'm still recording. Yeah, I'm still recording. All right, so there's no audio here, so don't worry about it. Look at that one, looking at look like a cat right there. Scat, looks like a cat. Yeah, that's a cat right there. Look at the vents. Got a first gen, or what's that, a second gen Charger. And then we got a Durango cat. So we got the squad out there. I'm just gonna kind of fast forward through it a little bit. But you see what I'm saying? Security cameras. Y'all got to be careful when you go into these spots, man. They started doing this shit in Charlotte. right? During COVID is when we started taking over. So I can talk through this because there's no audio. But during COVID, we started taking over. Like, I mean, we were going to spots like this way back in the cut behind these manufacturing plants. You see one dude already in there getting sideways. Now, I understand that we're leaving drag racing and tire marks and everything like that. Oh, he going wide. We're leaving tire marks on the street. I get that. But is this really $100,000 worth of damage? And is this really considered damage? You're laying tire marks on pavement. I mean, is it really going to cost $100,000 of damage to fix this, to I guess relay the pavement or whatever the case may be? All these guys are doing is burning out. But yeah, during COVID, we were doing this shit all day long. We would go behind like Home Depot, Lowe's, or some of these manufacturing plants closer to Westinghouse. So if you're in the Charlotte area, we used to go to Westinghouse and we would fuck those spots up. Like, we would fuck them up. And then it got so bad to the point that people started hosting car meets and car shows out there, and it would be like hundreds of cars doing donuts. The police would get called. This was like an every weekend thing where we're running from cops. And then eventually a lot of the business owners got smart, and what they would do is kind of similar to this one. They would get security cameras. They would get security cameras, set them up all along the manufacturing plant or whatever the case may be, or the parking lot, and they would start getting people's makes and models, license plates, things like that. The cops would pull up. They would take your car, but you would get it back. They're not going to auction it off. It's just one of them things like, or you would get like a cease and desist letter. Like, hey, listen, we caught you on camera doing dirt. Stay the fuck away. If you come back again, we're going to run up on you. And that right there was enough to scare most people, right? And then other spots, what they did was they ended up putting those road bumps, right? Like one spot that we used to go to all the time when I first got my Scat, and we were literally out there drag racing. But that's the first spot that we went to out of nowhere. Well, number one, people started hosting car meets and car shows. So that really blew that spot up, like real bad. Really blew that spot up. And then the owner of the spot or whatever, he got wise and he just decided, you know what? Instead of installing security cameras and dealing with police, I'm just going to put up like 30. And I mean, it was literally 20, 25, 30 speed bumps in the parking lot. So literally put up like 30 speed bumps, and that killed all of that. You know what I mean? That killed anybody going to that spot. But I mean, you know, in this particular case, man, I just think this is extreme. Now, are they fucking this parking lot up with rubber? I will agree they are. Is this in any way impeding business or impeding these trucks from coming in and dropping stuff off and picking stuff up at all? No, it is not. I don't think it is. You know what I'm saying? Does this look good as far as the aesthetics of the parking lot is concerned? No, it doesn't. I mean, we've only watched, 5 minutes of this video, and they've already fucked up a good portion up here. You know what I mean? They got no problem laying down rubber. So these are the three Chargers right here. The teal one, the black and teal, and then the black on black. These are the three that were auctioned off, that were essentially caught and auctioned off. Everybody else was chilling. So it looks like we might have a T-Rex over here in the cut. The Durango was chilling. And then these other Chargers and shit was chilling. So the only three that were actually getting active was these three right here, which were the three that they ended up towing. Oh, he almost lost that shit. He going wide over here. I would have to park my shit down there. Your boy right here is scaring me. But is this $100,000 worth of damage, guys, is what I'm asking. I don't know, because I don't own he is going wide. I don't own a manufacturing plant. I don't own a large ass parking lot. He might just be learning how to do this his first time. This might be his first time sliding, and last time because they seized his car. But you know, he didn't hit anybody. But is this $100,000 worth of damage is what I'm asking. And I'm asking a legitimate question because I don't know. I don't know how much it takes to, I don't know, repave a parking lot or pave over this, or if this is that big of a damn deal that this needs to be taken into account. And one thing that you can listen to with the cop, he keeps saying damage. Like, he doesn't specifically say that it was just rubber on pavement, which is all it is at the end of the day. It would be one thing if these cars were crashing into some of these trucks over here, or crashing into the light pole, or crashing into the grass and things of that sort, or crashing into some of the bays over here, the truck bays, or, you know, this particular, you know, machine right here. It would be one thing if they were doing that. But the fact that they're just coming back here and laying down some rubber, he keeps using the term or the phrase, you know, damage to, what do you say, corporate property. I mean, I don't know. I don't own this building, so I can't speak from the perspective of the owner. Obviously, you guys know whose side I'm on, who I'm leaning towards, who I'm biased towards. This seems really petty. This seems really petty to me. You know what I'm saying? Number one, he said, get these people off of the streets. Well, technically, they are off the streets. They're not on, W.T. Harris doing shit like this. They're not on Front Street doing shit like this. They're actually off the streets and on private property. Like, that was the excuse that we used for a lot of people. A lot of times was, hey, listen, this is private property. Like, you got to talk to the owner, and the owner has got to tell us to leave. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just come here and flash your lights and we roll out. I'm probably sure they could. I don't know the law as it pertains to this, but, with that being said, you want us off the streets. We're off the streets. We're literally off the streets. Like, we're behind, these big manufacturing areas or whatever the case may be in these parking lots. But from the perspective of an owner, I could imagine coming to work on Monday morning and seeing this, I'd probably be pissed too. I'm going to play devil's advocate and play both sides. If I were the owner and I came back and I saw all of this, people just fucking it up, I'd be pretty hot too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the Challenger's gone. The wide body Challenger is gone. The 300, they had a whole squad, man. Everybody was looking good. Got the 300, that's probably a Hellcat swap. Everybody was looking good, man. But I mean, answer me this. Is this $100,000 worth of damage? I really don't think it is, because that's what they're auctioning these cars off. So everybody's rolling out. Yeah, everybody's gone. Let's look at this parking lot. I'm not gonna lie, they fucked this parking lot up. They fucked this distribution parking lot up. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It did not look like this before they came. So that just lets you know the extent of damage. And there I go using a word. The word that I'm, being contentious about is the word that I'm using. But they really did fuck this parking lot up. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, they fucked this parking lot up. But at the end of the day, to see someone's car and then auction it off, I think is a bit extreme, is all I'm saying. Did they mess this parking lot up? Yes, they did. Is this fixable? Of course it is. Of course it's fixable. Should the owner have to fix it? Well, I guess it is going to fall on him at this point. But, if the Chargers and Challengers didn't come, it wouldn't have been an issue to begin with. You can make that argument. But, I mean, I just think it's extreme to see someone's car and auction it off. If you're going to seize it, like they did in North Carolina a couple years ago when people were doing the takeovers, they seized those cars. And then, this is how you can tell they were getting a license plate, right? They were using this security camera they literally got make and model, color, license plate, everything of everybody coming in, everybody leaving. Like, they got all the license plate. But I mean, a couple years ago, what Charlotte did is they seized the cars. They had a massive investigation. And it was one of those things like, you will get your car back provided you're not a repeat offender. In other words, you wasn't at multiple events doing street takeovers. And you'll get it back after the conclusion of the investigation. And a lot of people got their cars back within 3 to 6 months, if I'm not mistaken. But very few of those cars were actually seized. But then again, that's street takeovers right there. If you're doing a street takeover, fuck you in your car. I don't like street takeovers any more than anybody else does. Take the car and the person to jail. But I mean, coming behind a warehouse or a distribution center like this and going to work, don't get me wrong, this does not look good. But to see somebody's car and auction it off, I think is a bit extreme. Talk to me, guys. How do you feel in the comments? I mean, was what he did, the mayor, the police department, was what they did justified, apropos for the situation, or was it just too much? Put yourself in the shoes of this owner. You come to work Monday morning, your parking lot looks like this. It didn't look like that Friday. It looks like this on Monday. How would you feel? Or is this just a money grab for the city? Because a lot of people were saying that Flint, I think this took place in Flint, Michigan, they're so goddamn broke that they're trying to take that $100,000 and flip it and make some money off of it. I don't know. You guys tell me. I think it's excessive, but then again, I own a Charger and a T-Rex. So I'm biased. But, that's just my opinion. I think it's excessive. But then again, put yourself in the shoes of this owner. You come out and you see this first thing Monday morning, you would probably feel some type of way too. But is it getting too much? Are we getting to the point where now police departments are just like, listen, we're not going to chase you anymore. We're not going to hunt you down. We're just going to get your license plate, make and model of the car. As long as we can get you on camera doing whatever stupid shit you were doing, we're going to show up to your house Monday morning, take your car, seize it off, make that money, or we're going to, incorporate it into the city. I've seen a lot of people's Hellcats and Scatpacks getting taken and used for police duty. All those cars that's down in Florida, they had the C8. That was that was seized. Texas had a red eye Challenger that was modified that was seized and used for Texas Highway Patrol. I remember Georgia, they've done that quite a few times with a lot of their cars, where they'll seize it from a drug dealer or just seize it from whatever or whoever's doing what they're doing, breaking the law, and they'll use it for police business, official police business, quote unquote. I mean, you know, are they overstepping at this point? Is the law getting too much, overbearing, right? Me personally, I think that this is a little too much, but then again, if you're the owner of this business, you might think it's apropos. You might think it's on point. Talk to me, guys. How do you feel in the comments? Are they doing too much? Let's see here. Let's go through the, I want to go through. All right, let's see here. The city of Flint seized 3 modified Dodge Charger sports cars, they're muscle cars, and is working to legally forfeit them after recent drag racing and burnout incidents. Okay, surveillance cameras caught a 2021 black Charger, 2018 blue and black Charger, and a 2019 teal and black Charger drifting, doing long burnouts by an industrial building in Flint Commerce Center. Flint Mayor Sheldon Neely released video clips totaling nearly 8 minutes of cars doing burnouts outside one of the new Ashley Capitol buildings north of Hamilton Avenue. Complete Towing was storing the cars this week while city officials worked through the legal forfeiture process in Gwinnett County courts to obtain full ownership of the vehicle. So the fact that they've got to quote unquote work through the legal forfeiture process seems to me that this isn't something that's done often, and this is probably uncharted territories for them and unprecedented. Something that they don't do often, something they're not used to doing. And it's one of those things like if they're quote unquote working through the legal forfeiture process, they really want to make an example out of these cars. They want to make an example out of these cars and the people that were driving these cars. That if you get caught fucking around, we're going to take your car, we're going to sell it, and we're going to take that money and do as we please with it. Probably put it in somebody's pocket. I wouldn't be surprised if your boy Sheldon was getting some of that 100,000, some of that money from seizing the cars. The 100,000 is the $100,000 worth of damage. Whatever they auction the cars off is what they're going to be putting into the city. We are drawing a clear line in the sand. Mayor Sheldon Neely, the safety and quality of life for our residents are paramount. I don't think being in Ashley Capitol buildings north of Hamilton Avenue has anything to do with anyone's safety at that point. I mean, with the exception of the drivers themselves. We will not allow a few bad actors to destroy property, endanger lives with reckless driving, or hold our neighborhoods hostage. See, that last line right there, hold our neighborhoods hostage, I think that's tying into the street takeover scene. I think a lot of these things, a lot of the power that a lot of these police departments have at this point, and will have, stem from the street takeover scene. I think a lot of legislation, and I can speak about North Carolina, like we had the street takeover bill that went into effect. I think it was last year, the year after, or the year before. And it's one of those things where it's literally at the discretion of the officer as to what's considered a street takeover. So, and there's so many things in the street takeover, and we read the legislation or read the bill that can be considered a street takeover. Burnouts, improper launch, right? So, you know, going from a dig or something like that, speeding, all that shit is a form of street takeover, street racing, something of that sort. So it's one of those things like anything you do with your car, with the exception of driving at the speed limit, they can consider it a part of the street takeover. And it's one of those things where the street takeover scene has fucked up so much of the car community that now anything and everything that we do, whether legally or illegally on the fringes of the law, whatever you want to say, but now whatever we do is considered street takeovers, and they can tie it to those bills that are being passed. You know what I mean? Like this wouldn't happen probably 3-4 years ago, before street takeovers became a thing, you know, before street takeover legislation became a thing. Stuff like this wouldn't happen, but because everything can be considered a street takeover, that's what happens here. The city plans to sell the 3 Chargers at auction after the forfeiture process is complete. You see what I'm saying? And I think it was the same thing, 2021, 2018, 2019, illegal behavior. This is a Flint business parking lot, leaving an array of markings on the pavement. So I think when he says damages, he's not just talking about this specific event or this specific instance. I think he's talking about other stuff that is taking place in Flint that he's now connecting to these 3 Dodge Chargers getting busy in the back of the Flint business parking lot or whatever the case may be, right? So he's taking other shit that has happened in the city, whether it was done by these 3 Chargers or not, but he's taking other things in the city and adding that to, what's happening in this particular situation. Auctioned off, reinforcing its zero tolerance stance against endangering lives and damages to Flint communities. Yeah, destroy property, endangering lives. So there it is, guys. You know what I'm saying? We're getting to the point now where police departments are truly cracking down on any type of behavior like that. So it's not even safe to go behind UPS and Lowe's and Home Depot and this business center and that business center and get busy. You got to be careful, right? So when you go to these business spots, I'm not telling you not to, because I'm not going to stop. You know what I mean? I'm not going to stop going. I've got quite a few spots all over North Carolina, not even in Charlotte. I don't do anything in Charlotte at this point. Everything I do is in Mooresville, Huntersville, Cornelius, right? If you're in the North Carolina area, you know what I'm talking about. But when you go to these spots, you got to look hard for cameras. If you see security cameras, get up out of there. If you see a security guard that's monitoring, patrolling, he may not stop you, but he damn sure is filming so that, hey, listen, we can get these guys later type deal. If you see security cameras, security guard, anything security based whatsoever, you need to abort mission and get out of there, because they got footage on you at that point. And 9 times out of 10, they got your license plate, your make and model. They probably got you if you got out of the car and walked around. So it's just one of them things, like, you just got to be smart where you go. I'm not telling you not to, because I'm not going to stop. But you just got to be smart where you go. You got to be smart when you go to these places. If you plan on laying down some rubber, burnouts, donuts, swinging, all that shit, I'm not telling you not to. That's what our cars are designed for. You just got to be smart about it, because at this point, they're literally taking our shit and selling it. Not just taking it and impounding it and come get it in 2 weeks, 2 months, a year, something like that. They're taking it and flipping it and making money for the city. I'll be damned if somebody catches me and tows my shit and my money goes back to the city of Charlotte. Fuck that. You know what I mean? I love Charlotte, but not that damn much. But as always, guys, like, subscribe, comment. At the end of the day, I want to ask you the question, was it too much or was it justified? Put yourself in the shoes of the business owner, and then put yourself in the shoes of, obviously, the Mopar guys. You know what I mean? $100,000 worth of damage for some rubber on the pavement, though? That's a bit of a stretch to me, man. But then again, who am I? It's me, your boy, Knockout 360. I'll see you in the next one, man. Peace.